Hello, this is Lucas. I'm Strike the Sun MD, or that's the name of my channel at least. And I'm just holding my phone because I want to make a quick video for a wrap up of the week. And yeah, I kind of forgot. And I don't have much time available to myself, so I didn't bother trying to find the little thing I've been holding it on. My phone, that is. And if you can hear some air blasting, it's because I turned on the heat for a moment because I realized it was freezing in this room. Anyway, I started and finished 1984 and made a long video that just rambles and could have been nice and coherent and concise had I cut out a lot of the pregnant pauses and had a better through line of what I wanted to say, of comparing and contrasting my thoughts from 10 years ago to the present day on the novel. But it was good fun. I think I made the BookTube newbie tag too, again, for the 100th time, and that was good fun too. And I started reading a book called Mosquitoes, something or other. It was published last year, and I was interested in. I thought it'd be great to get a sort of broad scope history about mosquitoes' relationship to humanity, and how the diseases they bring to us affect and shape our history in a way, because of war, and people have to go through certain swamps where mosquitoes will be, whether it's in Rome or near Rome, or in America somewhere, or in Asia or whatever. Those are just the perfect place for a mosquito swarm to nab you, I suppose. And I thought it'd be great, but it was a horrible book. It was a broad scope history. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't have much chance to get into great details. It did feel very much the same again and again because of the nature of the book. But the way this guy wrote, it was kind of like, dude, check this out. And, bro, did you know about this too? And, like, here's another thing. And that was annoying enough. But then there came a point where I realized in every chapter, I think I had just gotten to the chapter about the Mongols, Mongolian Empire. And the author, I realized every chapter was jumping around in time to talk about like a certain point of location, whether it's with the Huns or with the Romans or Carthaginians or whoever. That area, you start talking about Shakespeare or Chaucer or somebody, and then would start talking about like World War I or things like that, and then just bounce around on these chapters, focusing on different eras, even though you'd be talking about something millennia later, or at least centuries later. And it just drove me insane. I couldn't do it anymore. I got about a quarter of the way through it and had to stop, because that was annoying and disorienting in a way. It was just a mixture of all that. What I just mentioned, the time skipping and jumping, and the repetitive sort of brief histories, and the like, oh, and here's another fact, guy. Oh, and just so you know, he was a bad writer, I think. But I think it was definitely written for public consumption to make it more interesting for the layman. And that's not a bad thing. It's just the way he did it was so distasteful, I thought. And I've started a book called East West Street about these two men who lived on the same street in the same town in the same place, but never met each other till the Nuremberg trials. Or maybe they never met each other, but they worked on the Nuremberg trials, and they like introduced the terms crimes against humanity and genocide to the case. If I'm not mistaken, I might be misremembering some small facet of that detail, of the details there, but it is absolutely fascinating. I've read about the first guy, and there's like 100 chapters, and they're all very short, and the author had a personal relationship with the guy. I believe this guy was the lawyer that brought in the concept of genocide. I don't think he invented it, if I remember right. It was an American. Oh gosh, I'll have to look back on that. I highlighted it in my Kindle so that I can write a book review, and I'll make a video about it when I finish, and hopefully it will be concise. I'm forgetting now, but he didn't invent it, but I think he brought the terminology to the Nuremberg trials, if I'm not mistaken. I might be, oh gosh, this is embarrassing. I haven't read it for a couple days, so it's a little out of mind, because I just had 2 busy days at work, my last 2 days, and it's been emotional for me. I work as an English instructor, and I've known some of these kids since I came here. And it's been very sad for me, but I'm happy that it happened. I'm happy to be leaving, though I will miss some of those kids and some of my coworkers. Anyway, the book has this sort of staccato feel to it, where it just starts and stops, because the chapters are so short. And this guy who has a personal relationship with the first man mentioned, if you've read East West Street, you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to butcher his name, and I can't remember his name. But, during World War II, that whole time period, there's not a lot of documents that he has left, and that man wouldn't really talk about anything that happened before 1946, I think. And he's had to put the pieces together, but there's only so much that he has. He's able to create the timeline, but there's so much missing, and there's so many people who are missing, of course, because of World War II and the psychopaths of that time period. So it is an amazing book so far. That hot flash of each chapter sort of leaves you feeling empty, like, wait, no, there should be more that connects everything together, but there's only so much. It's really an incredible book. That's about all I've got to say. I will be finishing that book soon, and hopefully have more coherent thoughts when I go back through some of the highlights that I noted. And I have some notes that I wrote elsewhere too, but I haven't looked at them. I've been a little out of sorts because I've got visa issues again, and it's driving me insane. Anyway, I thought they were over, but they're not. They just keep coming because bureaucracy is evil. Goodbye.